Alright, so what is up everybody? Welcome back to another video. So in the previous video I did like gameplay of me grinding the new update, which is the DBZ update. Surprisingly, what come with the update is not just a DBZ character, but also a godly rework. Another one. But this one is for Luffy, which all of us has been wanting. So let me showcase the new Luffy rework and let me do an overview and kind of a guide and explanation on how good he is. So let me place down both my farm and let me place down my Luffy. Now for my Luffy, he will have glitch glorious as always because he's a godly, and he will also have max skill tree with the critical skill tree as well. So first thing, as you've noticed just now, Luffy cost is increased. He used to cost around 2000 to I think 2000. He used to cost 2000 per place down, but now he costs 4000. That's different. His godly passive is still the same. It will permanently slow the enemy down by 15% and cause them to take more damage. So let's do the showcase on Luffy now. So he will start out at around 6 million damage, 47 range, and 2.7 second SPA. Now, let's read his passive, and he will start out with a lot of passive, of course, since he is a godly. His first passive is called Toon Force, which will make it so that every attack he will randomly apply one of the following: Bolt, Plasma, Hemorrhage, Crippled, Poison, Blaze, and Conquered. Now, he used to have this random ability. He used to have this Toon Force passive as an ability back then, but now it's his passive. He will basically permanently have Toon Force passive. His second passive is called Liberating Drum, and every 2 minutes he will enter a sleep mode for 60 seconds, and then during the sleep mode he will stun himself for 30 seconds, and he will also deal 20% of his current damage to all enemies in range every second, okay? And then every 20 seconds he will apply a random effect from Toon Force passive, okay? And lastly, once the sleep mode ends, he will deal 5 times of his current damage to all enemies in range and apply Conquered and Weaken. That is a really good one as well. And then his third passive is called Combat Coding, which will make it so that every 5 attack, it will increase his crit damage by 5%, which will cap at 25%. And then once the cap is reached, he will deal 2 times of his current damage on the following attack, and it will reset the buff. His next passive is called Instinct. And then if Luffy is stunned, which will happen if you're doing dungeon, if you're doing boss rush, he will ignore the stun, and he will also gain 100% crit chance on the next attack, and then the crit damage of that attack will be 300%. And his last passive currently is called Supreme Wrath, which will make it so that every 55 seconds he will inflict daze to all enemies in range, and then if there is a boss that is inflicted with daze, it will stun the boss for 5 additional seconds. Now, his Instinct passive, which will make it so that he will ignore the stun, you can kind of combo this with what's his name again? Guts Boost, because Guts Boost has a passive where he will stun the enemies around him. Same thing with Denji as well. If Denji consume Luffy, Luffy will be stunned, but since Luffy has the Instinct passive, he will basically ignore the stun, which is very nice. So let's start upgrading Luffy. Let me actually kind of move into the front a little bit. So 5500, 8000, 15,000, 25,000, 35,000, 50,000. New attack called Defeater's Aura, which will make it so that he's full AoE now. Nice. It's basically his hockey activating. Good damage so far. And good SP as well. Let's keep upgrading him. New attack called Komonori, which will be circle AoE. I see this animation. Okay, nice. It's basically the lightning thing. Really fast SPA and good range, and he will max out at around $2.4 million to max out. Okay, that is actually a lot. But at the same time, it's only his last upgrade that will cost that much. His max damage will be at almost 800 million damage, 100 range, and 3 second SPA. And he will also gain a new ability once you max him out. called the Ultimate Gun. And what this ability does is that it will deal 500 billion damage plus 75% of Luffy's total damage dealt, which is similar to what Asta ability has, and he will inflict cripple to all enemies in range, or just to all enemies, okay. It will inflict cripple to all enemies for 60 seconds, and then Toon Force now will proc twice every attack for 60 seconds, and also enemies will take 50% more crit damage for 60 seconds. Now let's see if this has an ability, and of course, I'm guessing this is the old ability animation. It is. So, Luffy is definitely a really good godly now. Is he a top godly? Yes. I would still say that Gilgamesh is still the best godly, and then followed by Ichigo. And then for the third place, it's kind of like a debate between Luffy and Denji now. Probably Luffy because he has an ability as a nuke, but as a progressive unit, Denji is better because he's cheaper to max out. So yeah, so that's Luffy for you. And yeah, he's a really good godly. I'm glad he's getting buff. He got a buff because he's been kind of dookie for a while now. He used to be one of the best godly, but now he's actually really good again. So that is all for this godly showcase. I would like to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys find this video informative, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.